sanity. And secondly is what happened in the Ivy local government yesterday, in which some certain councillors reported themselves, and one allegedly picking on and threatening the house leader that he was fighting that particular state. So when you have a lot of guns in circulation, I think federal government should have a ethic about it.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Libengo, for that. I'm sure those who are in the right position to do something would do something timely, and thankfully, like you said, law and order has been restored in that axis of Lagos State. All right, so yesterday on the program, we talked about the tax burden, especially on transporters, and the feedback was massive, all right? And that's because the issue of tax affects literally everybody in Nigeria today. Not to talk of those of us special people who live in Lagos, you know what I mean? The issue of taxation is always a front-border issue in Lagos State. And for those who don't know, March the 31st, the end of this month, is the deadline for personal profiling of person. We'll get into all of that, all right? But for those of you who don't know, just like I don't know so much about taxation, we're going to get a lot of clarity in that regard this afternoon. That's because I have joining us at the table today the Assistant Director ICT for LIRS, that's the Lagos Internal Revenue Service, the person of Mr. Rashid Olu Ajayi. Good afternoon, Mr. Ajayi.
Good afternoon. It's good to be here. I'm a first time as well, not like
yes, you're first time on the show. We hope eventually you become a regular.
Okay.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Also, we have virtual guests who will be joining us the program this afternoon. Joining us from here in Lagos, we have a youth development expert, Mrs. Florence Adene. Also, we have a global investor, real estate developer, and wealth coach, Oladipo Clement, who will also be joining us virtually on the show. All right, before we bring you quick COVID-19 updates, let's take a minute to go see what we'll be discussing at the table this afternoon. Join us again. Right.
I'll give it.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, you're right in time for the midweek edition of The Buzz. All right, quickly, let's bring you updates on COVID-19. 179 new cases of the disease have been recorded in Nigeria, according to statistics released by the Nigeria Center for Disease Control. The 179 new cases are reported from 19 states. Lagos State recorded 47, Kaduna 21, Rivers 18, Akwa Ibom 14, the Federal Capital Territory recorded 11, Edo State recorded 10, Cross River 9, Ogun 9 as well. Nasarawa State recorded 6, Ebonyi 5, Ekiti 5, Zamfara 5 also. Delta State recorded 4, Kano 4, Osun 4. Plateau State 3, Abia 2, Gombe 1, and Sokoto also recorded one new COVID-19 case. In total, Nigeria now has 161,074 confirmed coronavirus cases. 146,072 patients have been treated and discharged, while 2,018 deaths have also been recorded. In 24 hours, an additional 3 deaths have been recorded. Still on COVID-19, the Lagos State government has just released a list of 88 centers for COVID-19 vaccination. The 88 centers cut across all 20 local governments of the state. The state government has also warned residents to avoid non-accredited centers who may just be dispensing the fake versions of the vaccine. All right, so for you to get clarity on the center closest to you, because I do have the list, but I possibly can't start reading out 88 centers, okay? So it cuts across all of the states, all of the local government areas, I beg your pardon, and even the LCDAs, all right, in Lagos State, from Agege to Ajeromi to Alimosho, Amuwo, Jofin, Apapa, Badagry, Etiosa, Ifako, Ijaye, also Ikeja, all right, Ikorodu, Kosofe, the Lagos Island, Lagos Mainland, Mushin, Ojo, Oshodi, Shomolu, and Surulere. So please go online and go look through the list. There are 88 centers in total, where you can get vaccinated for COVID-19. Those are the approved ones by the Lagos State government. Also, a statement released by the State Commissioner for Health, Professor Akin Abayomi, said the AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine has been declared safe by the World Health Organization. He, however, pointed out that most vaccines have some common side effects which are not unique to the COVID-19 vaccine and which typically only last for 24 to 48 hours. Some of the side effects that could be experienced after taking the vaccine include pain or tenderness at the site of the injection, tiredness, chills, joint pains, headaches, fever, muscle pain, and nausea. Usually, within 24 to 48 hours, all of this should go away. But if it persists, please head on to the nearest hospital, all right? So, but it is safe, so don't panic about the AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine. That's what the State Commissioner for Health is saying. All right, gentlemen, quickly, your comments on COVID-19.
Well, let me start like this. As much as we are a horrible country, because the one we have will not be for it, and beggars have no choice. But in this case, because we're talking about health, federal government needs to be very, very careful. If a country like Germany can suspend their vaccination for now, which is the same brand of Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine that we are also using, and Italy has also joined yesterday, we need to be very, very careful. We should not forget, we don't have health facility that will withstand any outside result that will come out of it.
Eventualities.
So we need to be very, very careful, because although we don't pay for it, we don't have mouth, unlike Ghana that uses money to buy it. So, and they sign that if there is any side effect, your company is going to be responsible for it, and they sign. But our own, we are beggars. But at the same time, we need to be very, very careful. Then the one of having centers is good, but the Lagos State government should also do something. They should also have centers that people can run to in case if there is anything after it. Like in Agege now, it's only the Opermu Health Center that is in Agege, at least to my knowledge.
Functioning.
No, the one that has been ascribed based on your list. Maybe another one has been added to it.
Which area did you say?
Opermu.
Opermu in Agege.
Yes.
Okay.
So maybe another one has been added to it. They should create another, if it is the same health center as Opermu.
All right. For Agege, we have Agege Keke.
Songo, that one is one. Yeah.
The primary health center.
Yeah.
And Agege Orile Power Line.
Yeah, it's what I'm talking about.
Okay, so
one thing here is, and the two that we are talking about is too far away, although everybody will not have it. But one thing that is important is that where are they going to run to? Because all these health centers, I know all these health centers very well. They cannot, even the state hospital cannot withstand because they are the designated one. What is important is that we need to be very, very careful. Then Commissioner for Health in Lagos State, anytime I look at him, I see a good Nigerian in him for what he has done. Anytime I see him, I see a prospective Minister of Health because the guy has done enough. If you know his CV, for him to be a commissioner, it's like he's lowering his standard with what he carries. But one thing that
his resume.
For his resume, the guy is international standard, forget it. But what is important there is this: federal government should also by now looking for a way to buy more vaccine. If we want, because people are put caution to the window. It's only few of us that were so careful about our health that will put on those man. Just look around, even in government establishment across the 36 states of Nigeria. I went to some states on Monday. I was just shaking my head that it's only in Lagos that practically everybody, and where I go happens to be a governor's office. So that is what is important. But what people should try.
Okay.
Face masks, social distances, wash our hands, because we don't have where to run to. They've been going around to go and take it abroad.
Thank you, Mr. Adegbenro. All right, let me get Mr. Oluwajayi's perspective on this.
All right, thank you for that. I think for me, it's nice to say that we need to just adhere to COVID-19 restrictions. And just like Mr. Adegbenro said, if the Commissioner for Health in Lagos has issued a press release in joint connection with Lagos State Government, I think that should be good enough for us to be able to. I think by and large, the federal government should do more in terms of the distribution and planning of the COVID-19 vaccination itself. But over time, I'm sure it will get better. Just like he rightly said, we don't have money to procure, so we just have to make what we can. But if the United Nations had said the vaccine is okay, before it's released, they did say that it was 95% good. And from what I know from previous vaccines that have been issued, even if it was 100%, there are still some instances where you have, some kind of probably ill health or, so, but with this 95% thing, with COVID and the pandemic that is going around the world, I think it should be good enough for us to say, let's take this vaccine and just move on from there.
All right, thank you, Mr. Oluwajayi. Okay, so like I always like to say, until everybody is vaccinated, nobody is safe. Let's continue to adhere to all of the protocols laid down by the federal government. Wear your face masks when you step into the public domain. Wash your hands as frequently as possible. Use an alcohol-based sanitizer and continue to maintain some level of social distancing. All right, so moving away from COVID-19, very quickly, a trending video on social media shows 2 police officers being assaulted after they were accused of stealing phones. This incident actually happened at the Computer Village here in Ikeja last week, Friday. Let's take a look. Well, since Friday last week, this video has been passed around a lot of times, all right? But now the Lagos State Police Command has reacted to this particular video. Spokesperson of the State Police Command, Adeniwa Adejobi, in a statement released yesterday said the officers were wrongfully accused of committing a crime. He said the authors of the viral video painted the incident mischievously in bad light with an attempt to ridicule the entire Nigerian police force. Giving an account of what actually transpired, Adejobi said, and I quote, "The HP Electronics Company's task force on piracy in company of some police operatives were at the shop in Computer Village on a routine operation against piracy and substandard products in the market when some hoodlums suddenly became violent and attacked the team. They went ahead by creating a scene, calling them thieves, and passing uncomplimentary comments on the policemen in order to distract and halt the anti-piracy operation. Well, the team was chased away by the hoodlums and did not allow the operation to succeed due to their criminal tendencies." All right, it goes on and on and on, trying to clear the air on what really happened and also trying to disabuse the minds of the general public, on the police force and all of that. So the police went on to say they are investigating this matter. But comments have followed this release by the police command, saying what we saw in the video doesn't look like hoodlums chasing police officers. Do you know what I'm trying to say? It looks more like people apprehending well, it's an irony where you are arresting a police officer, as against, the norm. But it looks like people actually, arresting the police officers, and you can see one of them actually trying to protect the officer, they don't hit him, taking them to the station. So the statement from the police and what played out in the video doesn't tally.
Well, you know me very well. One thing that I've imbibed as a journalist is not to follow what people normally say. But immediately I saw the video, although I saw the video on Sunday,
Okay.
and I have some people in Computer Village. So I went there myself and I talked to like 15 people. In fact, the line that it happened, and I spoke to some certain people. Muyiwa Adejobi is a very known person. I know if he's watching. Immediately I said Ibile, he will know that I know him very well. He was the former PRO of police and Ogun State Command, so he knows me very well and I know him. Being a public relations officer does not say that you should lie. No, that is not what public relations is all about. It's what we practice, it's what we are even teaching students. So it's not about lying. We were not there. Police command was not there. So what they will have done is that this issue we are going to investigate it. Not that you bring that kind of statement after the last of the press release, you now say police command will now investigate. No, it is not done. What is important there is that although when I spoke to some, I could see that they themselves, they will say some certain things that will suit themselves. But what I want to say is that what is the position of SON in this? Because they are the ones that are supposed to go to every market and look at the standard and see the one they are by law, and they always go with a lot of security operatives. That one is one. Then two, in the video that we watched, let's assume I've never gone to Computer Village, but the one that I could see police officers that being case, that one is very, very simple. And I want to thank those how could I put it, the executive members of Computer Village that are guiding, because if they have leech on those policemen and something happens, it's another thing for the entire. So I give kudos to the executive of for making sure. But one thing there is this.
But the issue didn't get out of hand.
Yes, but the problem I have is that there is a police post
right inside the market.
inside the computer. If they have to do that one, they will have carried those ones along. That one is one. Then another thing again is this: we should do something appropriately. The way our law enforcement is, even when they want to enforce the law, they must use sense, especially.
Command says, even the Commissioner of Police, CP Hakim Odumosu, has ordered the State Criminal Investigation Department to investigate the theft allegation and attacks on the policemen and their team, and would be the third of its kind in recent times, all right, in that same Computer Village. And of course, noting that the command will not tolerate any act of criminality and lawlessness in any part of the state. All right, so let's push it along to our next topic now, which is unemployment rate in Nigeria. The Nigerian Bureau of Statistics has just released another report which reveals that the country's unemployment rate has jumped from 27.1% in the second quarter of 2020 to 33.5% in the fourth quarter of the same year. Now, this implies that 23.18 million of the country's labor force either did nothing or worked for less than 20 hours a week, making them unemployed, going by the country's definition of employment. It also means there was an additional 1.42 million people added to the country's unemployment portfolio when compared to 21.77 million unemployed persons in the second quarter. Now, the total number of people with jobs in Nigeria stands at 46.48 million out of 200 million, out of which 30.57 million are full-time employed, that is, they work 40 plus hours every week, while 15.91 million are underemployed, working between 20 to 29 hours or even less per week. All right, so this unemployment issue is a recurring decimal, in the Nigerian society, and it's saddening that, the affected group, target audience in Nigeria are the youths. Yeah, that's very saddening. But
you will recall that the day we are celebrating youth, we look at this issue of unemployment.
Exactly.
And I have to corroborate. That was the reason why I have to go and bring the folder that I used that day, so that I could be able to compare. And I discovered that Nigeria have a big problem. So if you want to know the reason why there is insecurity in Nigeria, this is one of the reasons. And one thing here is this. If you look at what National Bureau of Statistics brings out here, the youth in the second quarter, 27.1%, amount to 21,764,614 that are not doing anything. Now, let's now look at it holistically now. 33.3%, 23,000,000.2, hey, that are not doing anything. Then now look at those people that are even working. I can tell you, you recall that about a few days ago, there is one statistics that brought that up. Every 5 bankers you see, 2 of them, they are not full-time. They are the one we call casual worker. So, if you contrast that, it's just English. There is nothing contrast that is casual, because you will not have health benefits. One thing that is there is this. This is a high time that both presidents, governors, senators, they need to sit down and think. Because if this thing goes, especially when you have the age range of 25 to 34 years, above 30% of them are not doing anything. They are not doing anything. That is a high time. And I want to give Lagos State kudos on this. Because when I saw it, I went to look at the statistics and I know where they stand. A state like Imo is the one that has the highest number of unemployment in all the states, 56.6%. What it means is this: over 50%, if you have 100 persons in Imo, over 50% of them, they are not working.
More than half of their population.
More than half. Adamawa, 54%. Cross River, 53.7%. Upon deprivation fee they get from Wilo. Then I now look at Lagos. Lagos is the least in underemployment, which means that there's still much buoyant work in Lagos that is untapped, but some people are still having rage to really work, although they pay the highest tax. They pay the highest tax, and that's the fact. Then Osun State, 11.7%. Out of the southwest states, when we exclude Lagos that have a lot of bodies, population, they get a lot of money through IGR, they tax people much. If you put that one aside, the most buoyant states, based on what NBS gave us, is Osun State in the southwest.
Wow.
Maybe because of their number, because Yoruba used to say, "Bí orí bá ṣe tó, ló ṣe máa ń fọ́ olórí." You can't compare with them with Lagos that is, even the population now, the governor of this state did not know the current population. Because every day they are trooping to Lagos. Agreed. This is the high time that all the governors forum, they should leave APC, PDP, APGA, they should leave that one and focus on unemployment. Because what happens is that, look at what happened in Ikosi. I won't take that. If somebody has a work to do in VI, you will not be carrying gun in Ikosi early in the morning when other people are working. Then go to the motor parks. Now, every junction now you see boys in the morning, on Monday, Tuesday, you see them in the front of the house, they will be smoking and they will be drinking. That's in certain areas. Go to Bariga, go to Shomoni, in fact, it's all local government. Even the safest Victoria Island, go to Aja, you get to some certain place, they call that one place Tie. I go to that place, I say, come on. Just to tell you how it is everywhere. Don't even mention Lagos Island. Don't mention Lagos Island.
Okay. All right, Mr.
So we are sitting on the compound.
We'll come back. Before I hear Mr. Oluwajayi's take on this, let's go to Olajumoke Clement, who is joining us virtually for this particular conversation. Good afternoon to you, Clement, and thanks for holding us for us. Okay, so very quickly, what is the implication, of this new statistics released by the NBS, especially its effect on the Nigerian youths? Who are the primary focus in all of this? What does this really mean?
Subscribe to some of the data the guest there just supplied. But in education, just like you said, also is we're sitting the reality is that this is not the very first time. We are very reactive in our approach. We really wait for situations to get really complicated before we rise to the occasion. The reality also is the fact that poverty is still a people with unemployment. As a matter of fact, one of the reasons unemployment got worse in the last few months was essentially because of the pandemic. Quite a number of businesses have no more. Quite a number of people who were gainfully employed lost their jobs, and then that's also added to the problem. And of course, in the last 1 year or so, we had people who also passed out from the NYC camp, and so whether you like it or not, people are being out of school environment, but there's no commensurate employment or jobs from them. And so the key of all things, I know you are asking for implication. There are too many things. Nigeria's problem is systemic. And I will tell you, we didn't arrive here overnight, and we will resolve this issue by just focusing on one angle. As citizens, we also have our responsibilities. We also have a part to play as individuals, as a government. Government also has a role to play. No matter what the government intends to do or attempts to do, government really can't solve the unemployment problem except they provide a living environment, and some policy that ensure that businesses thrive. Ease of doing business index in Nigeria is extremely poor. So if you encourage entrepreneurship, even from our schooling system, education system, which is currently very faulty, you hire employed people, quite a number of people are employment. And I can tell you categorically, if you have fresh graduates, most people are actually unprepared to for the marketplace. And I can tell you categorically also that part of the problem is not just government has a critical role to play. There's no easy about it. There's no making a case for government. But I, as a person and as a citizen of this country, like to take responsibility in my space. Since I was a teenager, I've always been hearing of unemployment. Until now, it hasn't changed. And it's not likely to change any soon.
Okay, all right, we'll come back to you, Clement. Let me come back to the studio for a bit. You heard him talking about, the bulk of the blame being on the doorstep of the government. But I'm not trying to be on the side of the government or hold forth for them. But you and I know that over the years, administration after administration after administration in Nigeria have come up with policies, come up with blueprints of how to solve the problem of unemployment in Nigeria. But nothing really seems to be working. Is there an innate problem, something deeper than what we're seeing on the surface that is responsible for where we are at in the case of unemployment in Nigeria?
Well, I think the multiple platforms of political parties in Nigeria have not really helped in that light, because different political parties have their agenda and they have been voted for. And there is a lack of continuity in those agenda whereby employment will be created for youths within the country. You also notice that there are a lot of tertiary institutions, unlike perhaps when we went to universities, there were only just federal government universities. So the number of graduates that are being turned out yearly are very, very infinitesimal compared to what you have these days. Sometimes even when people come as a youth corps to the agency, which is the Lagos State Internal Revenue Service, and they tell you the name of the universities, and then you'll be wondering which universities that were started from. So there are a lot of universities around now that are even turning out graduates that can't even fit into the labor market. I'm not saying that is good because government, the employment even is not there, but even the ones that come, you find out that just a simple memo that you're asking somebody to do, and this is somebody that spent 4 years in the walls of the university, can't even do a simple memo. And a friend of mine was also joking one time that somebody came to me, him asking for money because he said he was unemployed. I said, oh, would you work if you find work? And he said, okay, I have this loan here. Can you just clear this loan for me and I'll pay you 25,000 naira for just doing that? And the guy was asking him for a who and cutlass to use. And he said, I'm giving you a job, so it is your responsibility to find what you used to do that job, and at the end of the day, you get paid for that. Eventually, the guy just walked away. So the job was there for him to do, but he just refused to do it because he sees that, okay, when he begs for hands, people would give. And because we're socially inclined in this part of the world as well, that we love to give handouts to people, that has spoiled a lot of people as well, in the sense that they don't really want to do for the kinds of people that, Mr. Nodin was profiling. But we know that there are a lot of graduates out there that are looking for jobs and they can't find jobs. Equally, I've seen instances where government initiatives like farming and so on and so forth. Yes, the insecurity is there that, even if they go for farming, they might not be safe, they could be kidnapped and all that. But these are avenues that people, if they are up and doing and want to do something for themselves, because if I were unemployed, believe me, I'll go into farming. Because I can't sit down in the morning and just fold my hands and not want to do anything. Because at the end of the day, I need to be able to feed my family and do all the necessary things in the world. So government needs to do more on itself, but we as individuals, we need to do more ourselves to create jobs for ourselves where there aren't any jobs. A lot of people can start entrepreneurship with very little amount of money. So if we all do that, then I'm sure the society will become better and employment rates will increase.
All right, thank you for that. I'm going to come back to Mr. Nuruddin and ask the question where we missed it, because there was such a time in this country where having a university education, a degree, was like a guarantee for a good life in this country. Where did we get it wrong? But let me go back to Clement for a bit and follow up from where Mr. Oluwajayi, stopped talking about the graduates, themselves not even having what it takes, to hold down a job. I think that is a question we must answer in terms of our youths. Do they have what it takes in terms of being skilled or under-skilled or semi-skilled or however you want to put it? Do you think the youths themselves has what it takes really to fit into the labor force?
Because there's a school of thought that believes that the challenge we have in Nigeria and in most parts of Africa is actually not unemployment but unemployability. And that's essentially what we've raised there. Yes, they have what it takes, but like you asked earlier, digital problem is a cultural problem, which your guest also mentioned just a while ago. But I can tell you for a fact that to address this issue, we need to go back to the basics, which is really entrepreneurship. I'm a major proponent of entrepreneurship being brought back to the schools as a course, as a subject. And just like you also mentioned, there are loads of businesses that people can start with government. And so we are dealing with the problem of laziness, we're dealing with the problem of fleeting. If you live in America, we live in Europe, everybody found themselves back. From the moment you are 18 years old, you have to start thinking for yourself. All right? But in Nigeria, we have a cultural problem where somebody can still be 35 and then still be asking, mommy, where's the food? You see, that sense of responsibility is part of the thing that is creating problem in this part of the world. And I personally believe that it's not going to get easier because the population continues to rise, and that will not in any way match the resources that the number of jobs that are available. So but there are very critical skills that people can develop. If you agree with me, you know, I mean, most entrepreneurs can testify to you now, and then even HR professionals will tell you that there are jobs that there are roles that are being filled today that were not in existence 10, 20 years ago. And so there are scarce skills that people, in fact, let me be honest here, what people need now is no certificate. For those of us who are in business, we don't employ people for their certificate, we employ them for skills, critical skills, soft skills, you know, ability to solve critical problems, communication skills, selling skills, digital skills, digital marketing skills. These are very important skills that are transferable, that people can learn and then people can own. The dynamics of the environment has changed completely, and that's pretty much my position. The possibilities are there, the opportunities are there. There are loads of free courses online that people can develop for us. We can solve the problem of crime, solve the problem of laziness, which is a personal and individual thing. And I believe that we will be able to address the issue of unemployment for unemployment.
All right. Thank you so much, Clement. Thank you for your input. All right, before we continue the conversation in the studios, let's take a minute and go listen to this young Nigerian. He's also an unemployed Nigerian, out of school for years and has been job hunting. And let me quickly mention that this particular interview was done in 2016, but everything he says still relevant today, 2021. This clip is courtesy Sahara TV. Let's take a look.
I'm a graduate with a BSc. I'm on the streets. 80% of graduates in Lagos as of 2016 are homeless. Everybody is living in fear. And let me tell you what is going on. Those that have the means to employ, do you know what they are employing? They are employing cooks. They are employing security guards. Apart from that, they are employing maids. So that's more job going to females, and the only job that is left for graduates is security, cook, cleaner. A graduate with a BSc now cannot do more in Lagos than be a cook, a secretary, or a cleaner. And let me tell you, it's not easy. We're already competing for